A bad decision can cost a company millions. There's a lot of reasons why construction is challenging. The risk is high, the margins are low, and there's lots of people going after this work. CEI will help people expand their ability to understand what it means to run a business. They start as project managers, they learn how projects run, they get good at that. They understand gross margin, project P&L, but if they stay in long enough, they have to become business managers. They come in day one, they don't know what to expect. They're thinking seminar. And then as we unfold and we start to present what we're going to be doing over the next 4 days, they start to realize there's more to this than just sitting in front of a table watching PowerPoint slides. Very quickly, they're starting to engage. They realize they have decisions to make. They realize they're in a competition with 5 other teams. They start to see that this is a lot more complex than they thought it would be. They start to make the connections between what's going on back home in terms of the projects they're getting and looking at that gross margin. And now they're starting to see the connection between how that gross margin really isn't what's running the business. It's after all those overheads, there's something left over. And they're starting to realize, well, now I understand why they're going after these jobs and why they're pursuing those markets and why they're not letting me hire and why we're renting equipment. And they start to see why all of these decisions that are possibly being made by others are starting to matter to them. This simulation helps them think through the cost of going after work, going after market segments, and the investment it takes to be ready to deliver that work. There's a great story to be told at the end of the simulation. We're clear about not everyone's going to win, not everyone is going to lose, but everybody's going to learn. So when they're in this class, even the teams that don't do well have a story to tell because the people that did do well don't have that same view.
They make it so that you need to think outside the box. It's really intense. You learn a lot. You basically are building a company from the ground up and running almost a full year's worth of business operations in 3 days.
It's a complex organization and industry that we're in, and I really came into the understanding of the big picture. Anytime I hear a word like equity, I'm going to visually picture that simulation board and my stacks of chips and my equity and my stack of chips and accounts payable or accounts receivable, and that's going to help me see how everything feeds into the big picture at the corporate level.
We are all over the United States. We're in just about every market sector out there. I absolutely never really grasped the magnitude of how much the strategic plan plays in when it comes to your staff, your employees.
Although I've been in the business for 40 years, it has been very enlightening as to the detail and the level of detail required to manage the finances on the business.
Through the program, I learned the importance of all the pieces together. A lot of the time I'll get tunnel vision and think that my responsibility is the most important. I did learn the importance of cumulatively developing a system, sticking with it, and really developing and working on it every week, every month.
There's no other program like it. It is unique to the construction industry. I certainly don't know of any other business simulation that focuses on the 4 buckets that we focus on: labor, materials, equipment, and subcontractors. For me, the greatest success would be to see that the folks leaving our class are thinking more strategically, understanding business concepts more intuitively, and making better decisions. And that's going to differentiate them going forward in their companies.